Welcome back to Relax Radio. This is where we're trying to keep it 100% real. It's real talk with me, Nick, keeping you company all the way until 4 p.m. And yeah, we're fast approaching, the final few minutes of this show. But before I do, depart and all of that, there is a lot of things actually going on right now. And one of the things that is going on is, how are European countries tackling the pandemic? Well, Europe's vaccination campaign has been hit by delays, and the number of infections is rising in many, many countries. So, yeah, just, lockdowns are again once coming back into force, and, new measures are being introduced. And one of these, it's for like a lot of these countries are actually adopting these new lockdown methods again. So, yeah, Germany is one of those countries. Germany has extended its current restrictions until the 18th of April. However, a planned 5-day nationwide lockdown at the beginning of April has now been canceled after the plans were widely criticized. So, yeah, German Chancellor Angela Merkel said it had been a mistake to try to introduce the additional measures at such short notice. So, yeah, for further reopenings will also be halted in areas where infections exceed 100 new cases per 100,000 people over a 7-day period. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, people must now, wear their clinical masks, such as single-use surgical masks or filtering, face piece respirators, also known as FFP2 masks in shops and on public transport. So yeah, countries like Germany is, they have extended their restrictions all the way until April the 18th. So yeah, it's just crazy, that what's happening right now. And France also, there's been a new lockdown in Paris. In case you guys didn't know, nearly a third of the French population is in and around Paris, in the north of the country, and in the south around Nice, entered a new month-long lockdown on March 20th. So yeah, three national French regions, including the city of Lyon, are also being put under the same measure from 26th of March for 4 weeks. That is just crazy. There's another 4 weeks, a month of a lockdown. So yeah, France is just one of those countries. And it's because right now also France has been, very more accepting towards the coronavirus vaccine, which is the AstraZeneca vaccine. They were very, very skeptical in the beginning, but now they're showing more confidence in the vaccine. However, people in France, the non-essential businesses especially have to stay closed, but schools and hairdressers will remain open. So there's something. I mean, at least those are open. School people can still go to schools, but right now the cases are still at a rise. And yeah, hairdressers. I mean, if you want to get a trim or something, hey, the barbers are always open. Yeah, and people will be allowed to exercise outdoors within a 10-kilometer radius of their home, but are not allowed to travel to other parts of the country unless they have a valid reason. So, yeah, in previous lockdown, those in the affected areas will have to fill out a form to explain why they have left their home. And France, has a nationwide curfew between 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning. So, yeah, that's just something that is happening right now in France. And a lot of these bars, have been closed in France since mid October. So, yeah, they've left it closed and they haven't opened it to the public as of yet. So that's what's happening right now in France. And yeah, I mean, these are just two countries that I've named, and Italy is also there. And there's going to be a total shutdown over Easter. So yeah, that includes, shops, restaurants, and schools are once again closed in more than half of Italy, including Rome and Milan. So yeah, people are required to stay at home except for work, health, or other essential reasons. So for 3 days over Easter, which is the 3rd and the 5th of April, there will be a total lockdown and shutdown across the whole country of Italy. So yeah, schools in Italy are now being shut again, and in more than half of the country. I mean, that's just wild. I mean, the pandemic, although, we keep hearing it, it's actually happening around us, our neighbors, everyone's getting affected by it. So, yeah, Denmark also, proposes for Corona passes. So, yeah, the Danish government has proposed a Corona pass for everyone over the age of 15. The pass, available on mobile phone and on paper, will show whether people have been vaccinated, previously infected, or have had a negative test in the past 72 hours. And it'll also enable, people to fulfill the requirements to go to the hairdresser, a restaurant, or elsewhere as the country gradually lifts restrictions. So yeah, that's just something that Denmark is using, and I think they've already initiated the vaccine passport plan in their country. So yeah, so now everything I guess the people of Germany have a Denmark have these digital certificates as well, and that's I think it's moving in a step forward, and it looks like it's working out fine for them. And yeah, in Greece also, schools across Greece are also closed for 2 weeks, and this was since March 16. So yeah, in areas with high infection rates, the red zones, which includes Athens, non-essential shop, hairdressers, and beauty salons, are all closed. So yeah, people can shop though for essential goods within a 2 kilometer radius of their home, but cannot travel outside of their area. So a curfew, they've been having curfews in and off. And yeah, taking a look at the Czech Republic also, there's been tighter lockdowns. One of the hardest hit countries in the EU, the Czech Republic, has been doing a lot of these lockdowns as well. And there's been new measures, including closing nurseries and schools for younger children and those with disabilities, ban on movement between districts, and a mandatory mass testing for employees of factories and companies that stay open. So yeah, that's just something that the Czech Republic is also doing, and Spain also as well. There's been they've been having curfews and all these other measures, which is gonna be continuing. So yeah, Spain is under a nationwide curfew until early May 2021. So people are allowed to be out in that period to go to work, for education, to buy medicine, or to care for elderly people or children. Anyone aged over 6 must wear a face mask covering themselves on public transports and in indoor public spaces nationwide. They're also compulsory in many other regions of Spain. So yeah, that's just Spain right there. They're also taking on tighter restrictions as well. And Belgium as well. Belgium has also been locked down, and they've been extending it until the 1st of April. So all non-essential travel is banned. A maximum of one person is allowed to visit your home, always the same person. And for meetings outside, the rule of four remains in place. So yeah, that's something that is happening in Belgium as well. Schools and shops are open though. So people must shop alone and not stay in any shop for more than 30 minutes. So masks must be worn in all indoor public spaces as well as in crowded areas outside. So Belgium is also, trying to restrict most of the movement and the relative spread of the virus in their country. So that's just one country right there that is doing their part. And hey, there's other country, Portugal as well. Mainland Portugal will also continue a state of emergency, which started in January until the 31st of March. So some of these, easing of measures started from 15th of March with the reopening of some businesses and nurseries, and including primary schools for face-to-face teaching. So yeah, a gradual further reopening is planned for April. So shops as well as museums, secondary schools, universities could all be reopened by the 19th of April. If the situation allows it, though, if it is possible, they will open the schools and all of the universities and secondary schools and museums on the 19th of April. That's just something that they are planning to do. And the other country is Netherlands. Netherlands also put a lockdown rules that have been extended until the 20th of April. The curfew has also been extended, but from March 31st, it will start 1 hour later from 8 to 10 p.m. until 4:30 a.m. So yeah, that's just there. And the government also says, people should not book holidays abroad until at least the middle of May. And secondary school pupils are now having lessons at school for at least one day a week. And from 26th of April, university students will be able to attend at least one day of classes as well. So yeah, hairdressers and other close contact professions have reopened, and shops can open to customers by appointment. So teenagers and adults up to the age of 27 can play team sports outside. So that's just something that they are doing right now. And yeah, bars and restaurants, though, remain closed, and along with a lot of these non-essential shops, and gatherings of more than two people are still banned. So make sure, if you are in the Netherlands, make sure not to travel in groups of more than two. So yeah, Ireland also has the highest level of restriction, and it's still continuing. Ireland returned to a full lockdown at the end of December, and the highest, level of restriction, which is a level 5, and will stay in place until the 5th of April. And people have to stay at home except for travel, for work, education, or other essential reasons, or to exercise within 5 kilometers of home. No visitors are allowed to in private homes or gardens unless it is the care of the children, the elderly, or those who are vulnerable. Weddings are limited to 6 people and funerals of to 10. So all these non-essential shops, gyms, pools, and leisure facilities are all going to be closed. Restaurants and public cafes can provide takeaways and deliveries only. So yeah, this is just some of the things that is happening right now across across Europe and Sweden as well. Sweden also tried to avoid imposing rules when other countries were in lockdown, but on 10th of January, a new emergency law came into effect. So yeah, it gave the government the power to impose coronavirus-related curbs for the first time. So until now, the Swedish government has relied mostly on the public following official health recommendations voluntarily. Shops and gyms are open, but must limit number of people. A maximum of 8 are allowed to gather in public and in private. At funerals, up to 20 participants are allowed. And there is another rule of 4 in there's a rule actually of 4 in restaurants and bars. Table service is allowed until 8:30 and only takeaway after that. So yeah, that's just something that Sweden is also doing. So just it's great to see that most of these countries are taking measures, are taking and are doing imposing all of these precautionary measures to protect and safeguard their people and their community. That's great to see. And it's still also in the UK, now that we're trying to normalize everything, it's because we followed such strict restriction and such strict lockdowns that we are able to, hopefully get back to normal by the 12th of April. And most probably by the time everyone gets their vaccine, and which is, around the end of July, everything will be hopefully the spread of the virus will hit a curb. And with that, we are going to step into more music. And up next, we got Gashi, and this one's called Mama. So check it out.